please subscribe. Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about examples of gaslighting statements and phrases. Gaslighting is when somebody is trying to get you to question your own reality. So, more specifically, gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse where a person or group makes someone question their sanity, perception of reality, or memories. People experiencing gaslighting often feel confused, anxious, and unable to trust themselves. This definition was taken from Medical News Today. There are many different resources and articles online discussing the topic of gaslighting, what to look out for if you think you're experiencing this, and then what to do about it. Here are some examples of gaslighting statements. You're being too sensitive. Somebody making this statement doesn't really care about how their behavior is affecting you. They just don't like your reaction to it, so they're trying to make it about your reaction and showing that you're too sensitive. It doesn't mean that you're actually sensitive, by the way. Similar to the next one, you're overreacting. It doesn't mean that you're overreacting. Your reaction might be fine. They just don't like that you're reacting to it in a way that makes them feel uncomfortable. They don't like your reaction. They're not taking ownership about what's causing you to react in this way. They might ask you, how many times are you going to bring that up? Maybe you've already talked about this before. Maybe you don't have closure. Maybe the conversation didn't progress the way you were expecting to, so you're trying to have another conversation. The narcissist typically will react in an accusatory way and just be annoyed that you're needing to talk about it again. They think that it's dealt with and it's in the past. Same with this one. If it's a relationship or a relationship maybe with your parent, and you have some resentment about things that went on in your childhood, that narcissistic parent might say, that was a long time ago. To just try to close the book on that, that was a long time ago, it was dealt with, okay, let's move forward. But unfortunately, you're not able to move forward because there has been no resolution. You're still not sure as to why something took place or why something happened. So this is just another way to kind of put you down and to make you feel wrong for bringing something up. This is something that comes up a lot. You're always misunderstanding me. You might not be misunderstanding at all. You might be understanding exactly what was said, but the narcissist might not feel happy that you're calling them out on it. Or maybe you say like, hey, listen, that's not nice. That's mean, like I'm really hurt by that. And then they might be like, hey, I'm not trying to hurt you. You're misunderstanding me. But they will not take any responsibility for their actual comment. The blame, again, is on you for misunderstanding them. And it's unlikely that you're actually misunderstanding them. They're just kind of trying to switch it around. You can't take a joke. The narcissist, or even maybe some of the enablers, might feel comfortable taking various jabs at you, being mean, being disrespectful, and then make it sound like, oh, hey, that was just a joke. And when you're upset by this, they might be like, oh, hey, yeah, that person just can't take a joke. Or even say it to you, to your face, you can't take a joke. I was just joking. What's wrong with you? Again, to not take responsibility for their actions, but to make it out like there's something with you that you just need to work on, which is not really the case at all. That's not what I meant. They might say something really mean, and when you're hurt by something, they just say, oh, well, that's not what I meant. They might make it out like they're just trying to be helpful. In this type of situation, I think it's also really important to set boundaries, like it is in any of these, for any of these statements. But I would always do a follow-up. Well, what did you mean by that? Because that's not what you said. Here's another great one. I'm not criticizing you. So if you call out a narcissist for being critical of you or criticizing you and maybe saying that it hurt you, They might say, I'm not criticizing you, I'm helping you, I'm doing my best. And that kind of goes along with, oh, you're always misunderstanding me. So they might say this right after criticizing you, and in fact, that they are in fact criticizing you. So with this, it's a tough one because you can't really win with a narcissist. It's just, this is an important phrase to look out for and to understand that somebody is gaslighting you. Convincing them of the fact is most likely not going to be helpful, because with most narcissists, they just will not see that there's anything wrong with their behavior. So now they might not like something that you've called them out on, and then they just might say, that's not me. But then who was it? If it wasn't them, then who was it? Clearly it was them. Clearly that's something they did or something that they said, and they most likely might not own up to that, but I wouldn't really be believing this line, of that's not me. That's a pretty typical one as well. I'm doing my best. So again, if you call somebody out that's particularly hurtful to you, or it has just been being mean, you might, question some of their action towards you, and they might start saying, I'm doing my best. This is to kind of help them have that victim role in all of this. And again, try to avoid responsibility, because they're trying to make it sound like, they're a good, decent human being overall, and they're not trying to focus on this, a particular set of things that they've done to you or have said to you. So I would look out for this one as well. If somebody's being mean, critical, and disrespectful, and hurtful, and abusive, they're most likely not doing their best. Along the same lines of criticizing, I'm trying to help you. This is a big one. If they're being abusive to you mentally, physically, emotionally, then they're most likely not trying to help you, regardless of what they're trying to say. Another one here with the whole, I'm not criticizing you, I'm just trying to help you. Another one is, no one else will tell you the truth. So they think that by telling you certain awful things or treating you in this way, they're doing you a favor, because nobody else will be able to do this. So really, you should be thankful. So again, this is another one to look out for, and do not think that just because they're telling you this, that this is the reality. This is just their perception and another way to put you down and get them to see their point of view. This is a big one, and this happens to a lot of people. You might be told that that's not a big deal. If it's a big deal to you, then it is a big deal, and it's not for somebody else to decide what is a big deal and what is not a big deal to you. This is just the narcissist's way of minimizing the impact that they've had on you or how they've made you feel. They don't think it's important because it doesn't fit into their reality. They might not think something is important. It doesn't mean that it's not important. If it's a big deal to you, then it is a big deal. And this is a major red flag to look out for if somebody tells you that's not a big deal. When dealing with people like this, whenever possible, it's important to set boundaries, or again, if possible, go no contact. Your mental health is number one, and doing what's necessary to maintain your peace and preserving your mental health is what you should be prioritizing in all cases. Sometimes it's not possible to go no contact right away. In that situation, I would say it's best to start making a plan and putting a plan in place for you to be able to do that, if that's a possibility. As always, thank you for watching. Please comment and please subscribe.